No, wait, I'm sorry, EMA, wrong document. EMA, sorry, Janice, you're up first. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm asking for an additional $7,500 to be put in my gas fund account. My account was kept $12,000 from last year to this year. Anything EMA is involved in. What's that? We can function till the end of the year, otherwise we're done come August or the end of August.
No, just a comment, just thanks for working with what we gave you this year. I know that gas prices have gone up. That's out of our control, and so that's just part of it. So thank you for coming and asking, and we'll try to make a hole for you.
Yeah, I try, and the guys are being cautious about, going out and all, but it's just totally out of my hands.
I totally agree. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hazard mitigation plan, this is a 5-year plan that FEMA requires each county to have, and it's a reimbursable grant. So contractor Christopher Burke has agreed to do that for the $24,304. And once that grant's complete, or the plan's complete, we'll submit the paperwork, and the county will get their money back.
It's just a one-time fee for the 5-year plan.
Right.
Yeah. And I forget, I think you went before the commissioners sometime. You went before the commissioners sometime a while ago for this too, right? Yeah.
Well, Greg did.
Okay.
Him and I both work on this grant together. Commissioners, you guys get me.
Okay, any questions for Janice?
Just one perhaps.
Okay.
It seems a little timely, but up in Gary, they had that bad storm up there, and they've been out without power for a couple of weeks. And I think the governor is calling on a investigation to find out why it hadn't been handled better or how to get so bad.
I just seen that today.
Yeah. You're going to do a 5-year plan for emergencies here in the area. What do you look for, and how do you prepare for something like that?
Yeah. Honest, Christopher Burke, Greg and I, and we get community partners involved. We sit down in meetings and go over everything for our hazard risks.
Yeah, we have certain things that FEMA wants us to look at.
Yeah.
Snowstorms, multi-hazard, any kind of spills that our first responders have to look at. And we go through that and we try to decide timeframes on how we can increase response times with our first responders. Again, it's just a plan, it's not perfect, but it is something that FEMA requires every single year, and sometimes they add different things. Last year we talked about, unfortunately, we had to talk about school shootings and things of that nature. They want plans for that, so it's just something we have to go through and plan for, and hopefully some of those things we never have to use that plan, but it has to be in place, if that answers your question.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Thank you both for all you do.
Like I said, that's a 5-year plan, that in another 5 years, somebody else will be asking you for money to get that plan completed as well.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now, I gotta have myself, now Mr. Asher, Sheriff Asher, I should say.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Looks like in lit special purpose, we've hired a couple lateral transfers for the jail. So we need an additional appropriation of $5,000. And generally what we've done is we do a commissary check to cover that. And then we'll reimburse this fund with the $5,000 from commissary.
It's a good problem to have, not a problem, but it's a good thing,
It's a
so,
good problem to have.
yeah.
So they came from wherever.
Another facility, more than likely Miami Correctional.
Okay.
So is this a bonus that they get for transferring the boats
Letter,
that
yes,
we
letter of
offer?
transfer bonus is what we give them, yes.
It's been a good program.
$2,500 per person. They have to have so much time in and get through their training. It's not like they first start and they get it. They have to be with us for a while. Is it 9 months? It's a while, yes. So, but they have to complete their training first before they get to do that, so.
I was thinking about maybe 2 months ago, you said you were down three corrections officers. Will this fill one of those or
No,
fill two of them?
these
Or
two
this
have
is
been
something
with us.
else?
Yeah, these two have been with us for a while,
Okay.
so no,
Okay. So that's not related.
that's not. No.
Okay, thank you.
So how many corrections officers are we down now?
Well, I think we lost one this morning, right? 3. Yeah, here we go, 3. Yeah. Always something. A few of you know Sarah Smith that worked in our kitchen. Dottie Salisbury used to work in our kitchen years ago. It's her daughter. She passed away Saturday. And so I'll put some information out, but we'll have a viewing and funeral on this coming Friday for Sarah Smith. But yeah, she was actively in our kitchen, working for us for several years, so it's kind of sad to see.
Yeah.
And we were birthday buddies, both of us born September 11th. So she'll be sadly missed. So
Yeah.
I'll put some information out about it. So, yeah.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have the ARP Grant Fund, and Pam cannot join us tonight, but Jessica has agreed to go on behalf of her.
So this is just to deappropriate, or the deappropriation is to bring the total cumulative appropriations down to match the cash in the fund to the penny. So I think before we had transferred some money different places, but this is to make the balance match perfectly.
Yep. For some of you that weren't around for the ARP days, we got money given from the federal government that we had strict guidelines and standards to meet, can only use on certain things. And so if I understand right, that's kind of what happened on this deal is something got put in the wrong bucket and we're just trying to correct it and make it all jive to pass a federal audit, which we get done every single year, so.
Is this the balance of what we have left?
Well, this will actually take it to, it will just make it match. I don't know exactly what we have left, but
I was gonna say,
it's not much
no.
at all.
And it was a bunch of money. And that's good, I mean, because we were supposed to have it
We
down.
have to spend it by the end of this year.
Right.
Any other comments or questions on that one? Okay, next up, Jessica again, but this time for your department.
So this is a correction. At the last meeting, we had put the $5,715 into the county user fee law enforcement training fund. Realized that that cash balance was not going to be able to sustain that, so we are moving that back to the county general travel and training $1,715 and travel and training firearms $4,000. So we deappropriated it from one and put it back to our county general.
Right, so that would be the line 2508, deappropriating 5715, and then appropriating 4,000 for travel and training firearms and 1,715 for travel and training under the sheriff's budget.
Yes.
Any questions, comments, concerns on that one?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Could you please explain that one more time?
I think it was an error from our department. So we made the error and we are correcting our error. So we're putting the money back where it was originally, as opposed to the 2508.
It's a net $0 change. It's just
Yeah.
coming out of a correct fund.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Good on that one? All right, that takes us to Andrew Vandenbosch.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
The request here is for additional appropriation of $3,750. This is in response to the governor's executive bonuses that were issued. The executive bonuses went to the executives as well as to the elected prosecutor and chief deputy prosecutor. We received a notice from Derek Mason, the executive director at the commission, indicating that that also warranted the bonuses to be paid out to the chief public defender and chief deputy public defender. So we're requesting that additional appropriation. The good news to the county is that the executive director also indicated that this can be paid from the public defender supplemental fund, since it is not ongoing compensation and was not able to be budgeted for. And that payment out of the supplemental fund, the commission will reimburse 40% of that back to the county general fund. So in my opinion, a win-win for the chief and deputy public defender as well as to the county, since it will be coming out of the supplemental fund, but it won't cost the county, and then the county will get a 40% reimbursement for the cost.
So explain that. So you want us to fund this and then you will reimburse the county?
I want you to authorize me to fund it through the supplemental fund, and then we will request the commission reimburse the county 40% of that expense in the next quarterly report.
Should this have been appropriated out of that, out of their special public defender fund instead of the general fund?
And I think what was sent over was out of the general fund. I hadn't received that letter yet from the commission authorizing us to pay it out of the supplemental fund.
Okay.
I did prepare an additional, with the correct supplemental fund account for it to be paid out.
With that fund number
Does that need to be
on there.
re-advertised, Alan?
But,
I don't think it does in this case. no.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we didn't have to re-advertise that.
Yeah, I don't believe so with the,
We'll have to re-advertise a different.
What's the fund?
yeah,
It is a different fund account.
Yeah.
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 So you,
You need to re-advertise it.
okay, all right. So I guess the question before the council is, would you, since Andrew's offered that up, would you rather pay that from the supplemental fund? A, and if that is the case, then we would not want to approve
Yeah.
this one before us tonight. Unfortunately, you'd have to come back, re-advertise it and come back for the September meeting, if that makes sense to you.
that's fine, but I maybe misunderstood that the funds that are paid out of the supplemental fund didn't have to go through the standard process.
I much if that's the case. I think if it's a new fund, we have to advertise it.
So,
We're not in charge of the fund, are we?
Yeah.
We just passed the ordinance the first of the year on what? Public defender.
But we
Fund.
aren't in charge of the supplemental fund.
like, it doesn't go through the county.
It doesn't go through council. He does his own budget for the supplemental fund.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have to advertise for it. So I guess the question is, why do you need it out of county general if you're gonna pay it out of supplemental fund when you do all that? We don't do that.
It sounds like he got clarification after he had turned in for this, is what it sounds like.
Correct.
So then you don't need the money out of county general, you're just gonna take it out of your supplemental fund. Correct?
That's the intent,
Okay,
but I wanted to come and
Yeah,
bring it to the council and
yeah.
If that's the case, if it comes out of his supplemental fund, we do not have to advertise.
Okay.
oh,
We don't have to approve it either.
I say that we
we don't have to approve it,
do it
okay,
anyway.
right,
Yeah.
okay. So,
but it had already been put on the schedule.
sure, okay,
I
well,
wanted
thanks
to
for,
Yeah.
come in and make sure everyone
yeah,
understood and not just pay it and then,
okay. Well, I think that would be a good use of that supplemental fund, Andrew, to do that, and I don't have a problem with it if you're okay with it. It sounds like you are, so,
I'm okay. Commission says it's okay, I'm okay with it.
okay,
So then we don't need an additional appropriation.
Correct.
not for that one.
So just scratch
Okay,
that.
So
perfect.
you'll be getting a bonus from the governor on this. Essentially, the governor's giving you a bonus.
Correct.
And who is the other person?
The Chief Deputy Public Defender is Mark Dabrowski.
Thank you. I didn't know that. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions, comments, concerns for Andrew on that
Thanks
one?
for being here.
Thank you. And then we just communicated with Amber, and she had something come up today, so she will not be here to present on hers, and she just asked that we would table her Fund 1170. Oh, never mind, you are here.
I'm here in place of Amber, Stephen Osborne with the Howard County Highway
Oh,
Department.
okay, sorry about
No,
that.
no problem at all.
Okay,
She just is looking for an additional $7,000 for signs and hardware.
okay. Are these extra signs and hardware you're doing, or just increased costs from, and you may not be the right
I'm
person
not
to ask?
entirely sure. You would have to refer to Amber when she gets back.
Yeah, that's fine.
Was it something with the flooding? Because I think that she had brought it up.
I know we ran
Oh, I
out of
think
It was
signs
something
during
with
flooding.
Yeah.
the commissioner meeting. I remember her saying that they were running out of signs, so I am assuming that's what it's
Yeah,
for,
that makes
but
sense.
I might be
I
wrong.
don't know entirely.
Yeah.
I only know what she tells me. I'm allowed to know.
All right, and I apologize, what was your name?
Steve Osborne.
Steve Osborne, all right, thank you. Any other questions for Steve? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry to skip over you, I wasn't
Nope, no
sure you
problem
were
at all.
there. And then, that takes us to CASA and Miss Holly Becker. I'm getting a little smile, hopefully I didn't say that wrong.
I guess I have a little bit of confusion. I don't have an appropriation request. The numbers for that VOCA grant were what was appropriated for this last year. I have a transfer request for today.
Oh, did I miss that?
No, I have a form one.
Oh, okay, all right, sorry. So you don't need an additional for that then?
No.
Are there
are
appropriations
8, 7
on it?
emails. Yeah, there's no additional appropriation requested.
But is it just appropriating the money? Let me see, sorry. I just want to make sure we're right before we say we don't do it and then have to re-advertise for it. Do we already have it appropriated for next, or for this year we do?
It may have something to do with the fact that insurance was being pulled from 8146 instead of 1212, and we've had ongoing discussions about that transfer. But I believe that was cleared up on 8/7.
Do you want to see this just in case?
Sure.
Because it has like a case manager, FICA, perf, and insurance, like everything on that Form 1. So I want to make sure that we really want to not do it.
Yes, you can see, this is what I submitted with our budgets for last year. These are different numbers than what I submitted for this year, and,
I just dated it for the date that I printed off.
yeah, this has already been appropriated.
So the numbers are already there. Everything's there. Okay. I just want to make sure before I say we're not, or we're going to zero those. Okay. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay, so we don't need that 52,202, what I'm hearing on that.
It's already done, is that correct?
I'm assuming.
This is the line item just for our VOCA grant. It's a reimbursement grant from
Yeah.
the Victim of Crime Act.
Okay. Initially, I was thinking maybe Stephanie sent me a note that this was stricken, but I couldn't remember that, so.
But it is stricken now, right?
Sounds like it, so we'll just be a 0. Who's doing the math on this one?
I started, but I'm going to wait.
So, okay, well, sorry about that.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks. I have a number, but I want someone to check me on it.
Okay, so this.
Need some Jeopardy music or something?
Negative $145,325.64.
What'd you have?
I
What'd
had
you have, sir?
144,225.64.
That's what I have.
Okay. All right, so I think if Jessica and I did the math correctly, at the bottom, the total additional appropriations for all funds should be a reduction of $144,225.64. 144,225.64.
This is something we don't see every day in the council.
At all.
No,
A de-appropriation.
Yeah.
Appropriation.
so with that, I think that's all the presenters, so I will entertain any motions, questions, comments on the floor.
Mr. President, with all those corrections, I move we approve this new total of 144,225.64 as the negative. So it's a de-appropriation of that total amount.
Okay.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilman Faulkner and Councilman Roberts. All those in favor of the approval of additional appropriations 2026 HCCO 31, assign aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Additional appropriations carry. That takes us to our next item of business, and that will be transfers. Madam Auditor.
Resolution number 2026-HCCR 18, transfers. Whereas the county council may approve the transfer of money from one major budget classification to another within a department or office. If the transfer does not require the expenditure of more money than the total amount set out in the budget as finally determined, and if the transfer is approved at a regular public meeting and by the proper ordinance. Be it resolved by the County Council of Howard County that it's desired and deemed necessary that the following transfers be made within the accounts of the designated funds as set out below. County General Fund, Sheriff, Deputy to Overtime Community Policing, $3,500. Deputy to overtime deputies, $69. Coroner, advertisements and publications to uniform and protective clothing, $300. Equipment repair to uniform protective clothing, $300. Equipment repair to other supplies, $500. Medical and hospital transport to uniform and protective clothing, $200. Human resources, dues and subscriptions to office supplies, $100. Continuing education to office supplies, $500. Public defender equipment to office supplies, PDs, $10,000. ID security protection fund, equipment to contract services. We're actually removing that one. I apologize. CASA fund, professional fees to insurance, $15,000. ARP grant fund, deputy prosecutor all courts to deputy public defender, 8 cents. Deputy prosecutor all courts to other services and charges, $52,332.08. FICA to other services and charges, $4,553.13. PERF and to other services and charges, $8,631.91. Supplies to other services and charges, $69,051.22. Building upgrades to other services and charges, $1,704,690.46. Building upgrades to equipment, $684,036.42.
All right, thank you very much. That will now take us to the sheriff again to come talk about his transfer.
Couple transfers from deputy line item to 12,800, overtime community policing 3,500. General rules, we use that for the fair time community policing. And we had quite a bit of overtime during that time. So we have money in deputy line item, just transfer it over. And then deputy to overtime deputy, it's actually court, overtime for the court deputies, $69. So I think we're over by $68 and some change. We have $3,000 to start out in that fund, and normally we don't spend that much, but apparently we've had a lot of court this year. I don't know why, but so we've overspent by $68 and some change. So we're asking to move out of deputy line item into deputy overtime, court overtime.
So that basically just takes care of your overtime up
That
until
basically
this
zeroes
point.
both of those accounts back out. is what
Right,
it
for
does.
now. So
Yeah.
there could be some more overtime, possibly, you just don't know.
We'll wait and see.
On the court side of it, you won't, the community policing, not so much.
Community policing is usually done by this
Yeah.
time of year, so.
Yeah, okay. Any thoughts or concerns for the sheriff? All right,
Appreciate it.
thank you. Next up, we have David Granger with the coroner's office.
I would like to request to transfer some funds. I'd like to move a total of $800 from 3 different accounts over into the uniform and protective clothing account. It's used for existing staff as well as a couple new deputies that we just brought on in the last couple months. And then I'd also like to move $500 over from the equipment repair to the other supplies, just for increase in cost and supplies. Questions, anybody, anything?
I'll just say I appreciate your breakdown and heads up in advance on some of this stuff, so thanks for sending that.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Do you think this will carry you over through the end of the year?
I think so.
Not
I hope
even
so.
this.
So I'm trying to plan to, hopefully, knock on wood, last time I'm up here for the year, but can't guarantee you that. I'll try my best.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
All right, next up, project manager. Once again, Pam had a conflict, so Jessica will
Kind of
cover.
piggybacking on what I said earlier, but these are all to just make these appropriations, the things that we've been spending out to make them correct and whole, making our cash balance not negative in these funds. So just moving things around to put them in the appropriate places for the 3,000 series.
And I believe I talked to Pam last week that these ARPA funds need to be expended or spent by the end of this year. This is the final hurdle, so that's why we're trying to get all these things cleared up more so now than ever before, just to make sure we're using these funds appropriately and get it cleaned up and over with, so. Any thoughts on that? Okay, moving on. Now, we'll go back to CASA. This one was supposed to be here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I had requested a transfer from our professional fees line, which we won't be expending that entire line this year. But I did not budget enough for our insurance expenses, as I had some changes made to some employee status. So I am requesting just to move the money from that line over to our insurance line to cover enough for the remainder of 2026. And I will probably be here again next year asking for an additional transfer as well, because I probably did not figure 2027 correctly either.
Okay, that was my next question, is if this was caught in time for the 27, because we have to turn it in so early, so.
Right,
yeah.
I'm anticipating some additional changes with employee statuses, so I'm not
And
sure what that's going
that's
to
the
look
other
like
hard
yet.
part too, is what changes there. Okay. Questions for Holly on that? Thank you.
Thank you.
And that brings us to Andrew Vandenbosch again. Anytime you're ready.
We were requesting a transfer from equipment to office supplies, 10,000 that is left in the equipment account. And give you a little bit of the background on that. In 2023, we had a line item on our budget for office allowance of 38,000, which was divided up over all of the public defenders to help with the cost of their expenses in their private office for their public defender work. And then in 24, that was increased to 42,000, I think, due to an increase in the number of public defenders. And then we split that up in 25, and we put in our budget request 20,000 for equipment, 22,000 for office supplies. And I was under the understanding at that time that some of the purchases that were being made of laptops and copiers, the small office copiers, would be equipment, but later got clarification after the budget process had ended that that was not considered equipment, that had to be treated as equipment and not office supplies. So last year's budget, we transferred some of that from equipment to office supplies. This year, for 26, so we had a budget request of 10,000 in equipment and 32,000 in office supplies. That was not approved. The office supplies was reduced to 5,000. But we still had the 10,000 in equipment. So understanding that at some point we needed to come in, if we didn't use that for any large equipment purchase for the public defender's office, and ask that to be transferred to office supplies to continue to use that as we had been in the past. At 5,000 for 21 attorneys, that comes out to $250 annually. That's included in our budget for office expenses for the public defenders. At 15 with the other 10 that's in equipment, that would make it $750 a year, or basically $20 a month. So we are asking, because we anticipated transferring that money, some of the attorneys have already incurred expenses and they've been processed through. So if we don't transfer that, we'll have some of the attorneys that have used their $750 annual allowance and some that there won't be any money left for them to get any. I suppose under those circumstances, we could, it would qualify as an expense that would be approved to pay out of the supplemental fund. But the intention was to transfer that money from equipment to the supplemental fund, or to office expense this year, knowing that that equipment budget is based on the meetings and conversations that you've had publicly, appears will not be funded for next year, and that IT may have some funds in the case there is a need for equipment. But it won't be there to use for office expense either. So we're asking that that 10,000 be transferred so that we can finish with what was anticipated would be used for office supplies this year. Any questions?
I guess one question I have is there any like, if a public defender just wants to go buy something and then come get reimbursement, is there anybody that says, yeah, that's a good purchase, or, you know, that's a good deal, or if someone says that's kind of overpriced for that item, that's not necessary? Is there any oversight on it, or are they just their discretion?
All of the items that they wish to purchase come through the public defender's office and have to be approved by me before they make the purchase. So if I think it's not out of line with cost and they're staying under the amount that we budgeted for each public defender for their office expense, normally, and they demonstrate to me it's being used for public defender work and not something else, normally that's going to be approved, because they can only use up to $750. And most of it is all expenses that they are going to incur one way or the other to run their office. I haven't seen anyone make any extravagant requests other than basic office supplies. And we have allowed some to use them for computer programs or those type of things that are used in the public defender defense work.
Yeah, so ultimately you kind of, you know, overview those requests. Okay.
Correct.
Everybody okay with this request, or any other questions for Andrew?
So you track this, you got it all.
Luckily, I have a administrative assistant that has it all on spreadsheets and tracked and down to the penny. Every item, every request, and we're keeping track as the year goes for each public defender, what they're spending, how much, what it's for, and looking at it and approving each one before it's submitted.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. The recorder's request is not going to be heard on the transfer. Need to kind of tweak that one around to a different fund account, I believe. And if that's the case, that takes us to Carrie in Human Resources.
Good afternoon. I am requesting a couple of transfers from $32,600, $100, and $31,110, $500 to our office supplies, $23,600 for a total of $600 in office supplies.
Any questions for Carrie? Thoughts, concerns?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, with that, that completes all the presentations for the transfer request. Is there any more questions, comments, discussion, or motions on this?
Now, did you say we dropped this 1160 ID security?
Correct. That will be 0. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, Mr. President, to approve Resolution 2026 HCCR 18 transfers as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made by Councilman Roberts and seconded by Councilman Faulkner. All those in favor all those in favor of approval of transfer resolution 2026 HCCR-18 as read, assign aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Transfers carry. Next item of business is the salary ordinance amendments. Madam Auditor.
Ordinance number 2026 HCCO 32, salary ordinance amendments, an ordinance amending and increasing staffing and salary authorization to be paid county employees for the calendar year effective January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2026, as originally approved for the year 2026, except where otherwise noted. Be it ordained by the Council of Howard County, Indiana, that for the said fiscal year, the following salary amendments are approved as additional changes to the basic salary ordinance for the same fiscal year. Necessary personal services appropriations have been approved previously to support the required expenditure of necessary funds. County General, Sheriff, overtime deputy, $69. Overtime community policing, $3,500. Deputy, reduction $3,569. Public defender employee service bonus, that's going to be 0. Lit special purpose jail employees service bonus, $5,000. CASA fund insurance, $15,000. CASA VOCA grant fund, all those will be 0 now. ARP grant fund deputy prosecutor all courts reduction $52,332.16. FICA reduction $4,553.13. PERF reduction $8,631.91.
Thank you very much. Any comments, questions, or motions on this salary ordinance amendment?
President, I move that we approve the salary ordinance amendment as presented.
Second.
All right, motion's been properly made and seconded by Councilman Alexander and Councilman Cuthbert. All those in favor of the approval of ordinance number 2026 HCCO 32, assign aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Ordinance carries. All right, nicely done. That takes us to old business. Do we have any old business before the council tonight? All right, hearing none, we'll move to new business. And tonight, we have one item of new business. It is a resolution, HCCR 2026 HCCR-20. It is the interlocal agreement between the county and the city of Kokomo, formalizing and getting written on paper the pledging of lit revenues for the jail project for the next, through 2029, so potentially up to 4 years. This resolution has been circulated to the commissioners, and they have signed off on it. It went before the Kokomo Common Council last night, and they signed off on it as well. And then the last step in this process is for it to come before the county council, and we sign off on it as well. So that is the third step on this process. And I guess I will entertain any questions on this resolution. And if there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
To approve, make a motion to approve the resolution.
Okay, I have a motion made by Councilwoman Lake. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll give that to Councilman Alexander. There's a tie, but I'll give it to him. He's closer. So I have a motion and a second been properly made by Councilwoman Lake and Councilman Alexander. All those in favor of the approval of Resolution 2026 HCCR-20, assign aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. All right, resolution carries. Any other new business tonight? All right, other council business. Does anyone have other council business tonight? The one note that I will have for everybody is we are currently scheduled to have a meeting on September 10th to hear like a public review or public comments on the 27 budget. We have decided that was a standalone meeting, and I think we kind of jumped the gun. So what we're going to do is just delay that, move it into right before or during our next regular scheduled council meeting on September 22nd. So the meeting on the 10th will be postponed or moved to the 22nd. So that's that note that I wanted to share with everybody. And we are moving forward on finalizing the financing and the bond for the project, and hopefully have that done here in a few weeks. And I don't want to steal Commissioner Dodd's thunder, but I believe we've got some movement happening out on Dixon Road at the end of the month. So, yeah. So that's all I have. I don't know if anyone else has anything, but if not, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Adjourn.
All right, motion's been made by Councilman Roberts. And Frank, do you want to second that?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Faulkner. All those in favor of adjournment, assign aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.